Iranian missiles. The engine would be here, the thruster would be pushing all that propellant out. And I want to give you a sense of how big this is. What you're seeing here, this thing is just the fuel tank. Liquid fuel would be put in here. It's loaded from a nozzle right there. It shows the sophistication of this missile, but also the size. This is about half of the incoming missile. There would be another fuel tank, then another pod that has the targeting devices, and at the very end, there would be a warhead. And increasingly, Israeli officials tell us this is what they're finding in those warheads, these 40-pound bomblets. This is a nose cone that's meant to penetrate the atmosphere because they're being dispersed from the nose cone at up to 70 kilometers, basically outer space. And then they start fluttering down. These are fins down here that sort of stabilize them. And there's about 5 or 6 pounds of explosives on this end. They hit the ground, they explode. Shrapnel is fired everywhere, and those are essentially, Israeli officials say, anti-personnel devices. They say that there is no reason to use something like that against the military target because they're dispersed over miles and miles when they land. The only purpose for those types of those types of bombs is to harm civilian populations. And many, many, many hundreds of these have obviously been fired, and not just at Israel, but across the Gulf states as well. They don't have missile defense systems that are as good as Israel's. They have been trying to knock them out, but they've also been suffering from those drones, which have been hitting with, in some cases, very impressive accuracy. But this is one of those Iranian missiles.